Hello, welcome everyone to the online peer mediation platform webinar for the month of May. April. We are so pleased to have one of our team members who will be presenting tonight. And in a moment, I will introduce her. Now, if this is your first time running across our content, I want to tell you a little bit about the online peer mediation platform. We've been around for quite a while. In fact, we've been around for almost 10 years. It's hard to even believe that we started in 2014, and we're going to be coming up on our 10th year next year. So I want to introduce a little bit about our platform and about our services. So let me just share with you just a little bit about us and what we do, and if we can ever be of service to your school or to your organization, we would love to help. So this is a little bit about us. Again, this is our team, and our host for tonight, who is Karen DeVode, is one of our team members, and she'll tell you all about the great things that she's doing in California. And as you notice, we have a very diverse team, and so we're educators, professors, attorneys, mediators, and so we have all different types of backgrounds. Just a little bit about who we are. We were created back in 2014. We received a grant from the JAMS Foundation, which is Judges, Arbitrators, and Mediators. We were managed by the Association for Conflict Resolution back in 2015. And then in 2016, we became part of the National Association of Peer Program Professionals, which certifies peer programs of all sorts. So check out their website, National Association of Peer Program Professionals. This is our website, by the way. You can go there. We have lots of resources, a lot of free resources, a lot of webinars, which I'll show you our YouTube page, peer mediation standards, and a lot of different materials that you could check out for your program. Now, back when we were formed in 2014, we had 4 initial goals, but our goals have really grown since that time. So I'll tell you our 4 initial goals. And that was number 1, to create free online resources on peer mediation. You can go to our website. You can find useful links, research, best practices, the peer mediation standards, our curriculum, other curriculums of other different organizations, and of course, media. We also created an online training in basic peer mediation skills. We have many schools that have used our basic mediation modules. And if you're interested just in kind of an overview of peer mediation, conflict resolution, kind of adding to your program, if you don't have time for training, this would be great for your school, for your program. Our third goal is to help students practice their mediation skills. And so we actually have means that we can teach students about mediation, how to practice their skills. We do some online simulations, so that if you're interested in that, please reach out to us about that as well. This was, you can go to our website and see some of our peer mediation simulations. I won't play the video, but we do have some videos online. This is our original students back in the day. So I'm sure they're all graduated from college now. And our 4th goal, still we're in the works with this, but COVID has helped with this a little bit, unfortunate benefit, and that is to provide online peer mediation services for schools anywhere. Okay, so we show schools with peer mediation experience how they can deliver online services anywhere in the United States or around the world, actually. Now, we do provide other services, so we have grown since 2014. Of course, we one of our really popular courses is learning how to be a peer mediation coordinator. This is a 32-hour course, which is approved by ACR. It is a standards-based where we take you from A to Z in a program. Karen and I have trained schools in this. We do it online, or we can actually come to your school. Organizational conflict resolution. We have trained some organizations in organizational conflict resolution. And this is just a little bit about, hey, conflict costs a lot of money in organizations, so let's solve it. So we do a lot of teamwork, team productivity, things like that. Restorative teacher-student mediation. We have a team member, Ondine Gross, who trains schools to implement teacher-student mediation, which is amazing. And conflict coaching, we'll be starting offering that this year. And that is where if you have a student who's not ready for mediation, or maybe they're going through conflicts where they just need to work through it, they can actually receive coaching services. We do that for high school, middle school, and college age students. Karen is going to be working on our mediator mentor training for schools, and I can ask her to maybe mention a little bit about that and how that would look. And next year, we're going to be rolling out our peer mediation tournament. We'll be rolling that out in the Association for Conflict Resolution conference, which is in October. So if you think you might have a school that might be interested in that, we would love to have your school. This is our past webinars. We have a lot of webinars. This one will be on our site. So that's probably how you came across it, because it's not a live webinar. It's a recorded webinar. And so we also have a blog that you can check out as well. Here's where our YouTube channel is right here. And here's just some of our webinars that we have. We have lots of different webinars: bias awareness, bullying awareness, restorative practices, just all kind of stuff. And next month, we will have another free webinar where one of our team members, Kyle Bruner, will be talking about conflict de-escalation, which should be amazing. So come back and visit us on our YouTube channel. This is our URL. Stop by and see us. So we love to hear from you. Reach out to us. And if we can be of help to you, we're here. But tonight, our purpose is really just to share free content and free material. And so I am so happy and pleased to present my friend and my teammate, Karen DeVode. And Karen and I have known each other for a very, very long time. Oh. She puts up with me, and I'm so grateful for that. So I'm going to let Karen talk a little bit about herself and a little bit about what she's doing with the Forrest Whitaker Foundation. So Karen, over to you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Cindy. That was it was amazing to sit back with you all and kind of look back at the history of this platform, online peer mediation platform, and see how it's growing in really creative ways, responding to our stakeholders and to the needs of you all. So I want to applaud Cindy for keeping us going. You know, she just is a wonderful force for goodness in personal relationships and in the work that teachers do and others in other community settings. So please join me in a standing ovation for you, Cindy, keeping this work alive and well. So this evening, I will be sharing my new adventure with you in the conflict resolution education sphere. So I'm going to sort of like take you on a browse through my home space now, where I'm working. I have the distinct privilege of working with the Whitaker Peace and Development Initiative. And yes, it is the actor that you are hearing, that name Whitaker, I'm sure rang a bell or two. He's not only an amazing movie star, actor, artist, he is a UNESCO Special Envoy for Peace and Reconciliation. He has won multiple international awards for shining spotlight on positive conflict resolution. And if you have the opportunity, let me just start sharing my screen. If you have the opportunity to visit the Whitaker Peace and Development Initiative website, I'm just going to click there for a moment and then back to where we're going to spend most of our time tonight. Whoops. Well, that's okay. I'll take you there at the end when I stop this. I've got this queued up just the way I like. At any rate, Whitaker Peace and Development Initiative is something that does programming to support communities of conflict around the world: Uganda, South Africa, Mexico, South Sudan. And the work that we do in the United States is is anchored out of Los Angeles. That's where I currently live in South LA County in Long Beach. And we work with the arm of this called Domestic Harmonizer. Domestic Harmonizer program is founded by Manya Kian, and she is the leader of our work. She has been with Forest for 10 years, sort of the same kind of birthday as the online peer mediation platform. And I partnered with her throughout the last few years to create content for middle school in particular. That was an area that Forrest was interested in having an impact. He went to school in the Los Angeles area in Compton. He wanted to give back to that community. As in all places and spaces, on COVID-19 changed our paradigm. And one of the things that happened is online peer mediation platform was always online, but a lot of our content was not. And so we made that pivot and created a website with our sponsors to provide online content that's anchored to content area standards. So day-to-day teaching standards that teachers teach, not just in a club or as a standalone, but in their everyday work that they do with students in teaching math, science, history, social science, language arts. We very deliberately did not want to layer in another box of something. We all know teachers are incredibly busy. And so we responded to that call of our schools to don't give us one more thing to do, but rather help us reframe the things that we do. So I'd like to take you through the halls of this virtual learning center. If you'll see I will put that in the chat, or perhaps Cindy will be able to forward that to you. Our URL is domesticharmonizer.org. And when you first visit that site, you will be asked to register or sign up. We promise we will not bombard you with any additional email. We just need to keep track of the use of the website for our funders. Makes a lot of sense. So they're creating, just a tally so we can see what's happening. You can still browse the site if you don't decide to register to get at the content. But if you do register, all of this is open source. You can use this in the best way possible to serve your work and your students. So I'm going to take a browse down the page to show you some of our infrastructure or architecture. We have modeled our delivery on what you often see in schools as that 3 tiers of multiple systems of support. It's not just for special needs students, it's for anybody, everybody, but of course, those students that may have special needs as well. And we look at that bottom tier, that tier 1, as content that all students should get their hands on. And that would be basic understanding of what conflict is, what are basic needs, what are communication strategies. So this is meant to be for everybody and to develop a common language with schools that we partner with. Then the second tier is we consider that a little more specialized work that we do, and that's similar to what the online peer mediation program does with training students in peer mediation skills. So they're recruited by their school, and we come in and provide that training based on the ACR standards for conflict resolution and peer mediation programs. The top tier is some specialized skills, and this is a piece of content that we are currently refining and growing. And again, it seems to be in response to that post-COVID-19 reality. We're hearing from many of our stakeholders that teachers and students have experienced, we all have experienced a common trauma, and that there's a lot of disconnect and a lot of stress that students and teachers are going through. So this is a piece of work that we're doing to help students learn how to be aware of the experience that they're having, to develop strategies that work for them, and to be able to help their classmates out, to take care of the whole community. So I just wanted to give you that as sort of a construct. As we're zipping into looking at some of the content, you'll be able to see what that's all about. Okay, I'm going to just pause for a minute and share this video. This is an example of content that we have sprinkled throughout all of the units of instruction we developed. They're animated little background videos. And again, we did this work in concert with our teachers that said, hey, we need a little bit of this and that. And this was one of the things that said, gee, it'd be real helpful and engaging for students to be able to see video, especially when they were learning in that online environment. So here we go. I'm going to just let you have a look at this.
How to kill all mosquitoes
Oh, not that.
in the area
Oh, why
in
does
90
that
seconds.
happen?
This simple but brilliant trick you can do.
Welcome to the Domestic Harmonizer program. We are so excited to partner with your school to create fun projects, learn about important concepts such as nonviolence and peace, and find innovative solutions to complicated issues. Throughout the school year, you'll be working with your teachers in social studies, English, math, science, art, and PE to problem solve, learn how to resolve conflict peacefully, and create unique projects. The Domestic Harmonizer program is intended to enhance the culture of your schools. The program has been customized for your campus using feedback provided by teachers and administrators. Our hope is that you find the activities in this curriculum both relevant and engaging, and that the workbooks routinely help you in dealing with conflicts when they arise. 6th graders focus on general conflict resolution, 7th graders focus on peer mediation, while 8th graders focus on restorative practices. Everyone faces conflict, whether at school, home, or another social setting. Conflict is a natural part of life, but negative or violent conflict is preventable with the right skills and systems in place. Throughout this year, the goal of our Domestic Harmonizer program is to empower students and educators with the skills and knowledge necessary to peacefully resolve conflicts both inside and outside of school. Through this program, our hope is to build communities across California and the nation that are able to navigate conflicts in ways that heal and restore relationships, rather than resorting to methods of retaliation. It begins with youth and extends outward into communities. We can build peace together. So, let's get started.
Okay, so you can see what the overview piece is, or a vision and mission, and a little bit, maybe some insight into the structures that we've created. So I'm going to take you through some of the content in the Educator's Corner. So you can see the navigation across the top bar. Here we go. As you heard in the video, we designed content for, oh goodness, I'm having trouble with my tabs this morning. There we are. Educator Corner. I hope that's what you're seeing on your side of it as well. So this piece has the units of instruction that we designed for middle school. 6th grade has 2 units of English, 2 units of social science or history, 1 unit of math, and 1 unit of science. So to start, we looked at the content area standards of that subject matter, and I'm just going to click into 6th grade just to give you a peek. The state of California, as all states in the United States, have particular standards that are required to be taught at specific grade levels, of course. So we started with those standards and layered the lessons for the unit inside and addressed and cited those standards throughout the curriculum, so that teachers, again, would be able to, if they're building their year of instruction, they can look at, well, this Lego block of this unit could plug in when I'm doing this particular novel or whatever a unit of instruction they're working on. So there you see those standards. Let me go back 1 click. Over here. Then there's a teacher content book, so sort of like a teacher's manual that gives the teacher some background knowledge about the content that they're teaching, definitions of conflict, These are in PDF, by the way. We first had them in different formats, and teachers said to us, hey, PDF is more stable. You can grab it and drop it in your Google Classroom or whatever learning management system you have. And you can even print it if that's most efficient for you. When we started, just a tiny bit of evolutionary journey, we used to print all this material out and give it to teachers and create it, and there's student content that went with it. And you can imagine how many trees and pages that required to give teachers all this content. So it's much more ecologically sound and sustainable for us to do it this way. And again, it makes it available to anybody that wants to put their hands upon it as well. And I'm really grateful that that's the direction it's gone. Okay, so that just gives you a sample of what this looks like. There are, again, more definitions and so on. Then we heard from our teachers that they wanted it in a lesson plan format. And we said, okay, you got it. For some of them, they knew the content really quickly and they just wanted to have a chance to get their hands on the lesson plans. So that's what we did. We wrote this up with sort of step-by-step instructions to deliver the lesson. So this is, oh, by the way, each unit, I should say this clearly, each unit asks teachers and students to work together to create some sort of a project or something that is a deliverable through a group collaborative experience. So not only are students learning about conflict in an academic sense, they need to practice it in the work that they do in collaboration to accomplish the goals of their unit. And there you go. For this is an example of what we did for this little project. They had to pretend they were in Action News. They were going to be dropping in on an ancient civilization as news reporters and describing a conflict that they saw, and had to figure out who to interview, what questions to ask, and so on. So that was kind of fun to do that. We have introduced some content that is related to, as I said, that social emotional piece or trauma. And so this is just a little sample of what you might see in that. And that's being refined. I have to say that's something that we are coming into contact with some other experts in the area, and we want to make sure that we're doing that well. That is a work in progress, I would say. So we've got just a little sprinkling of some trauma-informed or social emotional pieces, but that's being worked on as we speak. Okay, let me just give you a little peek at the student workbook. Whoops, what did I do there? You know what? I'll give you a look at a different student workbook. Let me just show you the navigation on the left side that helps you find things more efficiently. As this content is growing, it's sort of like you need a librarian to do the cataloging for you to find the things that you want. So we've organize this under themes, grade levels, subject matter, and then again, we're going to add that social emotional piece as well. So let's say you wanted to look at some mini lessons. We've created some sort of drop and go lessons that don't require the full unit of instruction, but instead you wanted to do something. What our teachers were asking for was sort of their homeroom or morning meeting room or advisory. There's different names that different schools use, and they wanted some prompts to talk about with their students to develop these skills. So we created one that helps them think about what does it take to do a good negotiation. So it's just a one-pager. Empathy and perspective, an introduction to conflict styles, and so on. So that's an example of how that little navigation worked. Let's see. Oh, well, you know what? What if you wanted to take a look at what we've provided in peer mediation? It'll do a search for you. We don't put the whole manual out there for this content for peer mediation. What I'm saying is we show them that this is available to a partner that wanted to participate. But we kind of hold it back a little bit to make sure that it is used by experienced people. So like the online peer mediation program helps to train trainers so that they could facilitate peer mediation. We don't do that piece of it. And so we sort of held back a little bit of the peer mediation content to make sure that when you open this, you realize that you probably need a little more training before you would do this with students. We've used this, Manya and I use this when we go into schools and do our training with peer mediators. So that's that. Let's see. If we did another search, perhaps you'd be interested in seeing visual arts, and you're a 7th grade teacher. What's out there? So we've created content that aligns to the standards for 7th grade fine arts or visual arts, and students are, or teachers are given some real concise guidance on, here's a look at this piece of work by Banksy. What does this say to you about conflict resolution? What does this mean to you? You know, it serves that helps students become thinkers about what stories are artists telling us about peace as well. All right, one more visit here to another search. Perhaps you would be interested in finding what we have for videos. Whoops, let me refresh that one. There we go. So we have created videos for every unit of instruction that we have for this middle school model. And then the videos I see are linked at the bottom here. So perhaps you've decided that, oh yes, I see what you have for looking at character study and understanding human needs of a character in a piece of literature. But I'm going to do it with my own students, with my own book. But I'd still like to think about basic conflict, understanding what conflict is. And you can click on that video. That's a video. You can tell the video here. We also have a YouTube channel with our content on there. And just as you saw in the introduction to the Domestic Harmonizer project, those are animated pieces. I'll just play a small clip so you can see that. And I hope the commercial doesn't. Oh, it did. Oh, gracious. Heavens. There it is. I apologize for that.
Conflict occurs regularly in our daily lives and can happen in any situation where people interact. In short, conflict occurs when an individual or a group of people feel they have unmet needs. It is important to understand that conflict itself is neither good nor bad. It all depends on how that conflict is handled. Let's consider the different types of conflict. Intrapersonal conflict is a type of struggle or tension that occurs within a person. Interpersonal conflict happens between two individuals. Intra-group conflict occurs within a specific group. Intergroup conflict happens between large social, cultural, or other organized groups. Conflict can also be divided into stages. The first stage of conflict is a disagreement. In this stage, some tension is felt between or among the people involved. In stage 2, a confrontation or incident occurs. The third stage is a breakdown of the relationship. At stage 4, there is a breakdown of trust. At this stage, people may start to lose hope that the situation can improve. Stage 5 is crisis. At this final stage of conflict, the hostilities are at extreme highs and the conflict can get violent in nature.
Okay, so that's, you get again, just a taste for what's available and free to anyone that would like to participate in using this content. One more feature that's being grown at this moment is our game zone. We've worked with a game creator to come up with 8 different scenarios of games that students can play on their phone or on computer at school. We're currently working with a group to play the game and refine it with us, a group of students, that is a group of high school students at a magnet school that has this as an emphasis. So they're doing coding and understanding how to develop characters and so on. So this is almost ready for everyone to see. I was really hoping we'd be able to dig in a little deeper on that tonight. We have a game name. It's called Hear Me Out. And so stay tuned for that. That's coming up very, very soon. So people will be able to play that game, students and educators, sort of responding to that much of what is consumed in the game world is often kind of destructive, right? And shoot 'em up and so on. And so the challenge from Forrest came, what if we could make a game that actually asked people to think about different strategies for solving conflict that used language, that used strategies of negotiation, and so on. So we're hoping that it'll be fun and that it'll gain a lot of bandwidth from students, and they'll help us make it better. Okay, I think, is there anything else I wanted to show you? Oh, posters. Last thing I want to show you, another free item for everyone in the educator's corner. Classroom essentials is what those were called. And we have posters, glossary of term, reference. Again, there's another link to those one-pagers if you're interested in that. But the classroom posters are available to anyone to download. You can print them and put them up in your school or in your classroom, in your office. And it's just a reminder of some of this, that tier 3, that language that we wanted everybody in our partner schools to have access to, or to keep using again and again, and to have that visibility. Again, it was an idea of one of our teachers to create those pieces of content, and that's what we're all about. So to land our conversation for this go round, please feel free to use this, share it. It is, as I said, open source. It's for you to use in any way that you will find productive and helpful. The way we have been working is with face-to-face growing partners. And the reason that we are reaching out to grow new partners is that that's what creates the content, right? We really didn't want to just say, oh, here it is, you have to use it and just use it this way and ta-da. Rather, we need to partner with schools that can help us figure out what's the next step to take, what's better content, how can we improve this piece, like the social emotional development is another good example of growing while we're still landing content into this space. We have currently 6 different schools that we're working with in the Los Angeles area, and it's a 3-year commitment that we make with our partner schools. And we go in and train teachers. We provide a variety of things to those schools in that partnership. Again, the biggest one is that help us make new content. That's my favorite part. We just finished an amazing novel study with a middle school teacher in this book called Dry. Highly recommend it. So she looked at our website, looked at our content. She's in our partner network and said, can you help me build lessons around this study? And I said, absolutely. And we put our heads together. I got a chance to come in and do some co-teaching. So that's where my sweet spot is for me as an experienced educator. That's delightful. But the other piece of the work is to spread broadly across any place in the world that wants to put their hands on this. So that's why I'm grateful to the online peer mediation platform to give me this opportunity to walk you through some of the pieces. Help yourself, enjoy, let us know if you have questions. If you have ideas, we would love to hear from you as well, so that we can keep growing this in positive directions. I just see us all putting our oar in the water together to create a more peaceful world, a world where we all have more skills to solve our problems in constructive ways. So did I cover everything I needed to, Cindy? Let me stop sharing so I can answer questions. I think I might have missed something.
Hey, that was amazing. And
okay,
to see the content that you have created in such a short amount of time since we've been talking about this is amazing. And we would definitely love to put the site on our website so that other people can go and just share the wealth.
Thank you.
So you have our support for sure. So I hope that if you're watching this video that you will reach out to Karen and her team. Karen is not only an amazing educator, she's an amazing person and just as kind as you see on video in person as she is on this video. So Karen, thank you so much.
Thank you
Karen, is
for
there-
the honor of hanging on to me. You know, you're the best. Yeah, I want to be on your team because you keep me strong.
It's symbiotic, my friend. Is there anything else that you would like our audience to know about you or about any of your work or anything else that you're doing in the conflict resolution field before we end our webinar for today?
Okay, you know, I should have shared about my intersection with online peer mediation. I'm sorry, I knew there was something else I needed to say. When we were working together at that time, I was the director and then co-director and then director of a project called Mediator Mentors at Fresno State University in California. And we worked with schools in our zip codes to train in peer mediation, but we also trained college students to go into schools as sort of like student teachers, not exactly, but kind of like that. They would help the teacher leaders at the school coordinate the program, run follow-up training. And we had those students also participate as we were creating content with the online peer mediation platform so that the college students could stand beside high school and younger students and coach them as they're growing their skills. And that indeed is a piece that's ready to blossom and grow as well. If there's appetite for that, we'd love to see this online, and we know how well it can work. Yeah. We know that this is not, it's not just something. I know when we first started, people were like, what are you talking about? What's Zoom? This can't be good, right? That would just seem like this, wow. And now it's so normal, you know, even my old aunt is using Zoom. So, so we know it's possible. We know very good things can happen. And those college students partnered in to share their expertise. The Mediator Mentors program is still happening at Fresno State, and that's very, very encouraging. So that's, again, another piece of the story and piece of the network. I have officially retired from the California State University system, but this is taking this work with Domestic Harmonizers. It's an honor to do it. It's just a really lovely, excellent group of people. I think that I find that, you know, you get in this work and you just find these good people. And so please come on and join us in this work.
Absolutely. And if you're a college student and you happen to be watching this and you're going into education, please reach out to us. We're always looking. Online peer mediation platform is always looking for interns. I work with other organizations. I'm sure Karen, I don't know if your organization is looking for interns or not, but you know, reach out to us and we'll hook you up with other people. We have a vast network and we work together. You know, unlike some networks don't work so well together. Our organizations really work together, and we try not to compete. Against one another.
No. As I say, I think we're just all putting an oar in the water, right? It's like whatever support you can provide, let's do it. We are stronger together. So,
Absolutely.
and I put my email there. It's Karen@wpdi.org. Please reach out if you have any questions.
Absolutely. Well, Karen, thank you so much for being on tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate your work. I look forward to what you're going to be doing with this organization. And if there's anything I can ever do to support you, please let me know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Stay well. Thank you so very, very much.
All right. Well, again, just a couple of reminders as we end for tonight. Reminder number one is to go to domesticharmonizer.org and check out their materials. You can reach out to Karen at Karen@WPD.org. Also, come on over to the online peer mediation platform, check out the materials that we have. We really try to promote and support. That is one thing that we really enjoy doing. Promoting, supporting other organizations, and just really, you know, working together, which is, I wish more of us did that. So we're going to be ending our webinar in just a moment. And don't forget, we have one that will be starting in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be with Kyle Bruner. Just a little bit about Kyle. Kyle is a professional mediator in Atlanta. He does a lot of divorce, high conflict resolution. So he is really going to be talking about how to stop, how to de-escalate, stop so much, but how to de-escalate in a situation where you feel it's very high conflict. So if that's something that you're interested in, you know, by this time, you'll probably see the video coming up, but it will be up in May. So again, Karen, we really appreciate you being on. And Karen, if you don't mind, could you share the host with me again, and so that I can start recording? So we're still learning technology too. So, yeah, take your time, Karen. No worries at all. So if you go up to my, just go up to my picture and go to the 3 dots, and it'll say make host. Yes, I think I see it, my friend. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, well, we're stopping recording. Have a good evening, everyone, or good morning, or wherever you're watching this. Bye-bye.
Thanks.